Today, we explore a study, You're Better Off Wading into the Fray, that examines the impact of neutrality in contentious discussions, offering insights critical to understanding leadership dynamics in our course.
This paper reveals that attempting to remain neutral could be more detrimental than choosing a side, as it may erode trust among individuals. This paper examines this with the real problem issue of if NFL players should stand during the national anthem. When a candidate opposed one group's view, participants from both parties trusted him more than when he chose to be silent or neutral. The same result were gained when this experiment was conducted on gun control. It turns out that silence means distrust.
In connecting this to our course, we observe that transparency in expressing views fosters trust, a fundamental leadership trait. The article clearly brings this point forward. However, the cultural context influence on neutrality perceptions could offer alternative explanations. Furthermore, the paper mainly addresses how to handle challenging discussions, but doesn't delve into the art of expressing thoughts clearly, which could be equally, if not more, crucial.
For practical action, managers and HR professionals should encourage open dialogue and express clear stances, while also being mindful of diverse perspectives, from the job description to interpersonal relationships. This approach can enhance team cohesion and decision-making. Action items can include fostering environments that value honest communication and training programs that emphasize ethical decision-making. In sum, this study prompts us to reconsider the value of neutrality, advocating for a more engaged and transparent approach in communications.
Divided We Hire encapsulates the effects of political affiliation and polarization in today's society. Researchers determined whether a candidate's subtle or overt political affiliation reflected in their social media affected how people judged their hireability. The results were overwhelming. Political affiliation played a role in a person's preference for hiring an individual, regardless of their credentials or ability. Through our discussions, our team observed many trends discussed in class, particularly around HR big data and employers' growing ability to collect a holistic snapshot of an individual, playing a crucial role in the selection process. However, we also had a very interesting debate stemming from this article, specifically around diversity issues and prohibited grounds for discrimination.
A key point of contention was around religious rights, specifically religion's relationship with politics and how this might raise issues around the legality of a no hire due to political affiliation. For example, if a candidate with conservative religious values is not chosen for the job based on their social media profile promoting these values, does this qualify as direct discrimination? However, the author's position also contained potential gaps which may have affected the paper's outcomes. Although the research through the lens of social media does illuminate several critical issues around bias, the study does not research the effects of face-to-face interaction.
A person's social media is often examined during the background check phase following the actual interview. Therefore, an interviewer's preference for someone might also be affected by the conversations they had during an interview, which the study did not consider. Moreover, study-specific methods and assumptions require further analysis, such as how the participants were chosen, from what socioeconomic group they belong to, or what level of education they possess, all of which factors might impact how the participants viewed the profile. Moreover, how is the explicitness or subtleness of the Facebook profile determined, which would also impact a participant's evaluation of a candidate. Lastly, we can combat political bias in selection through several methods. The article proposes training raters to avoid making hiring decisions on such job-irrelevant info, or dissuade them from reviewing social media websites at all. However, organizations could go beyond this by having a third party review the social media profile to ensure the applicant isn't posting extremist content. This could be done by AI to minimize bias. However, the hiring committee should never see the applicant's social media profile. Lastly, leaders within a company can tell their employees to disregard political views within hiring decisions and establish it as a formal policy. Ultimately, hiring decisions should be based on the candidate's merit and not their political views.
The transition from military life to civilian life can be very difficult. Veterans are often told to seek support through social media as there are lots of useful resources. However, research has found that if they reveal their experience PTSD, they significantly lower their chances of landing a job. This immediately identifies flaws in the selection process. This is a form of direct discrimination towards people facing mental disabilities. These veterans fought for their country and came back to reality where they can't even express how they're feeling and all the trauma that they've experienced.
Research began by investigating 450 US veterans' Facebook profiles for signs of PTSD. Then they surveyed 105 about their social media behaviors. The findings show that 34% of them had posted about the disorder or the symptoms resulting from it. Following this, the researchers evaluated 290 undergraduate business students and their responses to the prompt. They had to imagine they were evaluating a veteran applying to their work. Given to the students was the candidate's resume and social media profile.
Indicators of PTSD, such as liking a PTSD-related organization on social media, were mixed with the positive things like being the winner of a programming contest. Researchers found that the stereotypes of surrounding people who face such disorders overpower the positive job-related qualities the candidates possess. The student participants believed that candidates who showed signs of PTSD would perform worse on the tasks overall. But why should undergraduate students be the ones making these judgments? To evaluate this further, 2 following studies were conducted with working professionals. Surprisingly or not, the professionals showed similar results. In fact, they even perceived a physical risk towards the safety of other employees if the candidates were to be hired.
Finally, the researchers sum up their findings by saying that veterans may want to limit access to posts to known audiences or find support in private, password-protected, anonymized forums. Overall, it is very sad to see the stereotypes faced by survivors. The fact that the future business leaders and working professionals aren't using evidence-based human resource management is upsetting.
In 2013, a PR director named Justine Sacco, who worked for an internet service providing company by the name of Interactive Corp, sparked a massive online controversy after tweeting an offensive joke about AIDS in Africa. While only having 170 followers at the time, Justine's tweets was picked up by the Twitter algorithm and soon seen by millions. The Justine Sacco case is one of the most cited in discussions about the impact of social media on digital footprints, as well as the importance of adequate online behavior. However, should this be the case? Well, as it turns out, regardless of whether we like it or not, 70% or more of recruiters and hiring managers search applicants' social media sites and even use this information to screen applicants. Although not completely relating to the situation of Justine Sacco, it definitely draws a parallel, emphasizing the importance of a digital footprint in the professional realm.
In overview, the research provided an in-depth analysis of the impact of social media screening during the recruitment process with respect to alignment with the company values and culture. So what were the findings of the research? In fact, screening through a candidate's social media presence can be beneficial and detrimental for a company in the hiring process. For instance, a positive and professionally organized digital footprint can improve a candidate's potential chance of success by offering insights into their personality, showcasing their creativity, work ethic, or ability to effectively communicate with an audience in a digital space.
On the other hand, inappropriate, controversial, or negatively perceived content can lead to negative perceptions, which makes a company question the candidate's judgment and fit for the organization. And according to the research paper, profanity, discriminatory content, sexual behavior, gambling, alcohol, tobacco, or nicotine use, and to drug use were found on employees' social media websites. What's even more shocking is that 7.9% of social media sites included content regarding interpersonal conflict, violence, illegal activities, and negative work attitudes and behavior. One might question, isn't this a good thing? As a company owner, wouldn't you want to hire someone who knows how to conduct themselves on social media? Well, the problem with that belief is that allowing the hiring manager to screen applicants through various social medias can create many different forms of biases, regardless if it's intentional or not. It highlights the potential for unconscious bias where the recruiter's own subjective feeling towards social media content can lead to unfair judgment. In fact, since there is so much personal data on these social media sites, a hiring manager biases could actually violate the provincial employment laws.
With the emergence of big data and the overall trend towards increasing networking on social media, job seekers can easily obtain personal information such as the applicant's gender, race, religion, sexual orientation, and family status. With all of these aspects of an applicant being protected by employment law, it blurs the line between genuine acceptance and discrimination. This opens up a Pandora's box of legal implications between a company's compliance with employment laws and regulations regarding discrimination and privacy. And even then, is a candidate's social media truly indicative of their potential job performance?
However, although not explicitly stated, corporate social media screenings raise ethical questions about privacy. The invasive nature of such screenings, coupled with the potential awareness of candidates about their social media being scrutinized, could lead to privacy violations and data breaches, worsening the issue. But once again, most applicants responded that they changed at least some of their information. More than 1/3 of job seekers untagged themselves from other people's posts or pictures, and even indicated that they deleted posts or pictures. So how authentic are the profiles that hiring managers are even screening?
A suggestion to potentially decrease the bias in social media screenings could be to hire the entirely different department strictly for browsing applicants' social media, or even having the social media screened by separate individuals or AI, exclusive from the hiring manager. Another suggestion would be for companies to clearly establish guidelines for what constitutes as acceptable versus unacceptable content, which help provides transparency for candidates.